Broadcasting live all across this country. This is Home Talk right here on the Home Improvement Broadcasting Network and the World Wide Web. The man from the Bayou Land and the 2011 Talk Radio Host of the Year, the host of Home Talk USA, the Cajun Contractor, Michael King.
Yay! I'm the Cajun Contractor, Michael King, and this is Home Talk USA. Today's topic is about mold cleaners and disinfectants. My guest today is Dr. Jim Whelan. He is with Alexter Technologies, manufacturers of the 5-minute mold test. Dr. Whelan is going to discuss mold detection and elimination and also show us how to improve our home's indoor air quality. So we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back right here at the Home Talk USA workshop. I'm the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. Y'all come back now, you hear? Yay! My guest is Dr. Jim Whelan. He is with a company called Alexter Technologies. They are the manufacturers of the 5-minute mold tests. And we're going to be talking about disinfectants and mold cleaners. And so great to have you on the show, Dr. Whelan.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you know, I always like to have fun on the show and kid around. You know, that's my personality. But some of the subjects, we really got to get serious. I mean, mold, trying to improve your home's indoor air quality are serious issues. And I want to give it the serious respect that this topic really, really deserves. So let's get right into it. Dr. Whelan, let's start by introducing your company, a little bit about Alexter Technologies, and why don't you give me a little brief history?
As related to our primary product, which is the mold test, the 5-minute mold test, the technology relies on the ability to detect specific biothreats in the environment. If you look back to our history of our company, in the late 90s, we took some technology from government research labs and we applied it for detection of biological warfare agents. Now, this doesn't directly apply to the product we're talking about today, but our background was to make these tests easy to use, and cost-effective for first responders coming out to deal with biological hoaxes or threat letters. So you get the powder letters. If you remember back when anthrax in 2001, it was companies like ours that really led the way, giving test kits for use in the field for detection of anthrax and ricin and botox. Now, we got very good at that. We put together some really nice systems, and it was obvious for us to apply that to mold, and that's what we did.
Now, Alexter's brand of Healthful Home products presents an exciting new approach to improving the quality of our indoor air. Now, it's becoming increasingly clear to me, Dr. Whelan, that many of our health problems and issues can be linked directly to exposures in our indoor environment. Mold, in particular, has become a significant contributor to these issues. How has Alexter approached this challenge, though?
Well, not only with our mold test, but our mold control agents, what we did is we took the tools that biology gave us and we applied them to this biological challenge. So our tests have biological components, and more importantly for our cleaners and our disinfectants, they're derived from biological components as well. So we use biology to fight biology. And there's lots of advantages to that, and you know, we can discuss that as we get to each product if we get a chance. But the key is that biology gives you a much safer, more effective way to deal with biological threats because you're not dealing with toxic chemicals. And,
yeah.
And that was our approach, and it's been very successful.
So now you are also in the household security business now.
Yes.
That is indoor air quality. Now, there are some insights or lessons from the biological defense business that really helped you, as you was explaining. Healthful Home can really make better and more effective products. Am I clear on that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we really had the same challenge, putting together a credible reliable, robust. Robust is our fancy laboratory way of saying you can do it a little bit wrong and still get a good answer. So that's what we were looking for. So we needed something that non-laboratory, not a technician, but your run-of-the-mill fire hazmat guy could go out and run in the field. And we designed that system to be easy to use and to be cost effective. Now think about a consumer. Most people in the home, they're not laboratorians. If they were, they wouldn't need us. They needed something easy to use. We'll see that when we do the demonstration. We put together a system that was easy to use and robust. Again, you could maybe get 5 drops instead of 6, but the big difference in our system is you get a result right there, and that's really the key. You don't send it to a lab. You don't sit there and wait for 2 weeks to find out if you're living in an unhealthy environment.
And that's the main focus, is to get a report so then you can get it diagnosed, and then we can get a treatment involved. Either get a professional mold remediate involved, or if it's minor, you can take care of yourself with the cleaners and disinfectants that you do recommend. Now, what about the argument that when you see mold, just clean it up, Dr. Whelan? I mean, why test? Just clean it up.
There's a couple of reasons, but I do agree with you because we have one of the best biosensors there is right here.
The nose.
Yeah, you walk into a room and there's mold growing there and you see something, you'll smell it. Yeah, I mean, that's why mold dogs are so successful. But you know what? The dogs aren't always there and they're not always 100%, and sometimes people aren't sure. But the main reason you'd want to test is not because you see it, it's because you don't feel well, or your kids don't feel well, your family's ill, and you don't see anything. And you're saying, well, maybe I have mold in a crawl space, in the attic, or I have it behind a wall. And in which case, if it's coming out of the wall, which it would be, spores find their way out, it's in the air, it's affecting you, you know where it's going to end up? In the dust in your room. And that's what we recommend. Test some dust. Because if you're having the symptoms of a sick building, if you're runny eyes, scratchy throat, headaches, the first thing you should eliminate is mold.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to do a test.
Well, Dr. Whelan, we're going to have to take a short break. Please stay with us. I have so many serious questions I want to ask you, because this is mold is a serious. I mean, we all know the respiratory problems, but I want to address all these issues and how to treat these issues when we come back off a break. All right, Dr. Jim Whelan, he is with Alexa Technologies. They are the manufacturer of the 5-minute mold test. Let's always support local independent hardware stores and garden centers, and let's pledge to hire a vet today. I'm the Cajun man. Y'all come back now, you hear? Yeah, man, we're going to pass a good time here. Just for the break, you was explaining to us about when you see mold, why you shouldn't just clean it, you should go ahead and test it. Now, is it me, or do we have more mold problems today than we did 30 years ago and 40 years ago? Is that just my perception, or just something has changed in recent times? I mean, and if so, can you tell us what has changed? Because I need to tell you, a little later on in the show when you're doing your demonstration, you made an important observation to me in this show. You basically say, we all have mold. Every home has mold. It just depends the extent and how serious the mold problems is. So don't panic on some of these cases. You know, you said like mold behind your dishwasher, underneath the zinc, it's moisture, there's a little mold there. There's a chance it's not a serious toxic mold, but we want you to understand and know the mold, type of mold you have in your home. Do I have the summary here?
Yeah, I think you've hit
correct me if I'm...
No, you have all the main points. The issue is mold is a good thing outside. Without mold, the leaves wouldn't go away. Mold is a natural environmental microbe. It helps break down and recycle everything, all the biomass out there. And that means it's coming into the home, it's there. You mentioned, why do we see more mold now? And it's not, you are absolutely correct. And the easy answer to that is building, construction methods. Is we've made our homes so tight to save energy that they don't breathe.
Yeah.
And we also have construction components that are more conducive to mold growth. Drywall is a perfect example. We used to have plaster homes. If you have an old plaster home that's drafty, you're less likely to have a mold problem. One, because it's ventilating better. You're getting moisture going in and out. And two, mold doesn't grow in plaster.
Yeah.
It grows on drywall, it grows on wood. It needs a fibers, a
food
cellulose,
source.
a food source.
Yeah.
So if you have moisture, a food source, and heat, you're going to have mold growing. So when we tightened up our homes, if we don't properly ventilate them, you're going to end up having more mold issue. Some construction is particularly prone to it.
Now, let's talk about your cleaners and disinfectants. And I need to tell you, when I go to the grocery store, when I go to the box store, when I go to the hardware store, it's confusing. You see all sorts of mold products. What is the uniqueness of your particular products on the market, though? Because it ain't. We never do a top. Well, my product is better than your product. That's not what I'm saying. But there has to have some type of characteristic that makes your particular brand why. And I think my audience deserves to know.
Sure. Well, with the test, it's an easy one. It's in the name, 5-minute mold test. Everything else you have out there, if you pick it up when you get home, there's a lot of bad feedback. We see this at the retailers and we see it online where people buy a test kit and it says it's a mold test kit, and all it is a collection kit. And you're sending it into the lab. There's nothing wrong with that, in theory, but the problem is people get home and they think they're going to get a result.
Yeah.
And it might take them 2 days, it might take them 2 weeks. And when you're dealing with your health and your health of your family and the well-being, and you expected 5 minutes and you got 2 weeks, it can cause a lot of dispute. So our test does give you a result. It tells you not just any mold. It tells you the molds that are most likely to be unhealthy for you and to be due to water in your home. So number one, the test is unique in that fashion. And our cleaners and disinfectants, because they're bio-based, they're safer to use, they're all natural, and because they're not chemical, they're enzymatic, they have lasting, persistent effects. So they'll keep mold from coming back and much more effectively than your typical chemical cleaner will.
A little late on the show when you're giving us the demonstration, you have an aerosol application that kind of blew me away. It's called Mold product. It seems ideal for those areas of widespread contamination. Are there other advantages of aerosol application, Dr. Whelan?
Yeah, you touched on one of the areas where you just don't know for sure if you have mold, if you have lingering odors, certainly tight spaces, attics, crawl spaces where you just don't want to get in there and scrub. It's a great application. But generally, I've used it in the nursery. I've used it, what's beautiful about the all-natural products is you don't have to leave the house for 4 hours. Go in there, let it go, the aerosol, close the door, it's done. 5 minutes, you go in, pick up the can, throw it away, and you can go back and play in that room. And what you have gradually, that lasting enzymatic cleaning is if you had a musty odor, it just gets better and better. The improvement gets better and better as it sits, and it keeps it from coming back.
I want to ask you something personally right quick.
Sure.
What have you learned about the importance of indoor air quality and mold control that maybe we haven't covered? I'm trying to think of questions to ask you here today that might be help to all our viewers out there.
Well, I think the number one is people don't normally think mold. You know, I got a cold, I've got allergies, it's just hay fever, and this product and just the concept of testing helps you to eliminate that. Maybe it isn't mold. Maybe you have a chemical sensitivity to something in your construction, but let's eliminate the mold because that's an obvious one. And the second one is there's so many applications where people don't think about testing because it's cost prohibitive. And we have renters who say, I don't want to spend $500 on a mold inspection, but they can get their landlord to fix it if they show them a test result. And that's some of our best feedback, how much money we save people.
We're here at the HomeTalk USA workshop. Dr. Whelan, can you show us what makes up the line of Healthful Home products?
Absolutely. Well, we have three components. The first and probably the most important and the most unique is the 5-minute home mold test.
And basically that is to detect the mold.
That is detect on site without sending in samples like we talked about. The Healthful Home Mold Cleaner and Disinfectant. This is
Okay.
a spray for spot use. You see the mold, you can hit it. It's got the long-lasting protection.
And then you have the aerosol. I see this
The
here.
aerosol. This is our new product, 5U
Wow.
mold. It's the same components that you have in the spray.
Okay.
But what this does is it gives you the ability to hit hard-to-reach places. Think about like a bug bomb. It's a full release, so you press it down, it'll go off. You can close the area. And the nice thing is because it's all natural, you can go right back into the area. So we can talk about that a little bit more too, but that's going to hit all your mold and odor problems. The convenience is going to just really make the product.
So we have 3 mold products here. Now, obviously, the first thing we have to do is to detect whether or not our home has mold, right?
Right.
Okay, I just bought a 5-minute mold test. We just opened up the box. Why don't you give us a demonstration? And
Absolutely.
again, this is something that you can do out there.
Absolutely.
All right.
We have thousands of people using these a year. The beauty of this really, and it's not just the test. What makes it very easy to use is our all-in-one collection swab. So this component allows you both to take the sample, there's a
Okay.
little cotton swab on there, but it's got the wetting buffer built in. And so that means you don't have to get your hands wet, you don't have to touch anything.
Okay.
It makes it just an ideal do-it-yourself kit, and it's easy to read, and it's easy to do, and it's easy to interpret. So
pull the swab out of
pull
the
the
box.
swab out.
First step.
Now, if you see mold, obviously you know where to sample. But what if you don't have an idea where it is? You suspect maybe it's musty. You know where the mold's going to be? It's going to be in the dust. So you're going to look for some recent dust, bookshelves, door jams. We like door jams because people typically don't dust
Well,
all
we're
the
in
time.
the garage here.
Yeah,
and
so it's
I
real
would
easy.
tend to believe there's a little moisture in here.
And why is it in the dust? It's in the
Yeah.
dust, as we talked about earlier,
Okay.
because mold is in the air, it gets attached to the dust, it settles. Now, the other key part of this test is it's not going to pick up low levels, because everybody has some mold.
Yeah.
So you have to have a certain level, and if you're above that level, that's what our test is going to indicate. So
Well, it's just
you're looking
wall.
for dust on horizontal or flat surfaces, bookshelves, paint cans, anything you see on there is sufficient. Goes back into the swab. So the component goes back into the swab, and what's beautiful about this is because you never have to get wet. So you just bend the bulb both ways, liquid goes through the swab, wets the sample.
I'm going to be very shocked if I got mold in here.
Well,
I'm on national TV,
We're going to
man.
help.
What
We're
you
going to
doing?
help you don't have it, and then you're just going to put 5 drops into each sample. And this is the most difficult part of this test.
This is where I pray.
Putting drops on the test. And you know what? We say 5. If you get 6, it's not the end of the world. What you'll see as this test starts to develop, and we'll get a close-up shot of this, is the dye starts to migrate across, and eventually
I see it.
you can see.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to sit here and wait for 5 or 10
Yeah,
minutes for this
yeah,
to go.
yeah.
We do have some video of this
Yeah.
we can look at. What you'll see is 1 band if you're clean, 2 bands, 2 red lines if you have mold in your house. If you get 2 red lines, then you want to do something about it. And that's how easy this test is to do.
But say this test comes back positive, and it won't come back positive. But in case it did, for the sake of argument,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Because I don't want to get shut down here, okay?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure you're clean.
So what happens now?
Well, at this point, you really have to evaluate how bad the problem is.
Okay.
Now, if you've got spot mold behind a dryer, for example, I had that at home where the
Yeah.
vent wasn't properly connected, so you had moisture, you had mold. Small areas, recommended area, anything less than 10 square feet, you can take care of it yourself. So you want to have a cleaner to do that. If you are, of course, sensitive to mold, and you want to get a professional, we're there to help too, and we can help with.
And this is where this mold cleaner and disinfectant comes in,
It's
right?
one of the best use for this mold. Now, clearly you want to fix the problem. So you want to fix the vent, you want to plug the ceiling, you want to fix the drain, wherever the mold is, under a cabinet. The beauty of the Healthful Home mold disinfectant and cleaner is that it doesn't just kill the mold. It's got lasting preventative ingredients built into it. And this doesn't compare to anything else you see out there in the market. Everything out in the market is good at killing mold immediately, but there's no lasting protection. And it's because this is a bio-based. This is a biologically based natural cleaner and disinfectant. And so you can spray that, and we've seen up to 2 or 3 months where even under mold growing conditions, you don't actually get mold growing again. It's a beautiful product.
These two are the same basic products, right? It's just that one is in a spray bottle and the other one's in an aerosol can.
Exactly.
Okay.
What you have often is, I don't know where the mold is, and especially if you have carpets or you have a crawl space, or you have an attic where you don't want to go up there and you want to spray everything, every nook and cranny. With this particular total release Fog-U mold, you can just set it down, hit it, leave the area, and unlike a toxic bug bomb where you have to be out of the house for 4 or 6 hours, you can go right back in because there's nothing in this that's going to hurt you. It's got natural chemicals, natural biochemicals from plants and tree extracts, and those ingredients have natural mold killing abilities, and that's what we have in this spray. But the spray is actually a very popular product, and it's one we're really excited about getting the information out. Obviously, we're not going to be able to fix your problem with a home test kit. We are there to answer calls, but more often than not, people that get a positive on this test go out and hire a professional to get the full plan. And so this kind of is getting you over the hump of, do I want to spend more money? And we get a lot of feedback saying, hey, I need help now. So that's where this comes in.
Wow, Dr. Whelan, another great topic. Discussion has now come to a close. Give me some website information. How can we learn about the 5-minute mold test and all your cleaners and mold disinfectants?
Well, the listeners can go to 2 different places. They can go to myhealthfulhome.com or 5minutemoldtest.com. The products themselves are also available on Amazon.
Say it one more time.
5minutemoldtest.com and myhealthfulhome.com.
Dr. Jim Whelan, thank you for being here in the Gumbo Pot.
My pleasure.
All right, I'm the Cajun Contractor, Michael King. That does it for another week here at the studio. And I'm the originator, not the duplicator. I hope I see you next week. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Home Talk with the Cajun Contractor is brought to you by Green Bay Decking, manufacturers of composite deck and rail systems, innovation for the future, and Air King, manufacturers of quality ventilation products. For more comfortable living, there's only one name to consider: Air King.